You know what time it is. It's tea time.
That's how
Hype.
That's how we start every session.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to episode 450 of TDB. If you have stuck around from the beginning, bless you. I think we might be the only people who've stuck around from the beginning, which is cool. Today it looks like we got some Wuyi Origin Wulong.
Yep.
What we're drinking?
Some Tieluohan. So this is one of the famous bushes, and it's definitely one of those that I always look out for when I'm kind of looking for cheese to buy. This and Lao Chong Shui Shan tend to be my go-tos as far as this goes. So I like it because it's usually kind of at a good point of the roast for my own personal preferences. And yeah, this one's for you in strength for 42.
2022. They're boutique. And what's your experience thinking about age for these roasted oolongs? Is it still really preferable to have something that's kind of fresh and young? What do you think about with that?
I think it matters a lot less than like Japanese green or something like that. Right. I think you probably want something that is, if you have something that's like maybe a couple years old, that's totally fine too.
Right.
To a certain extent, it just matters to your preferences because you're going to get a little bit less of that roasty flavor.
Yep.
So if you're in love with that heavy roast,
right,
probably want to have it fresher, but you know, you'll be able to actually taste probably more of the base material if you wait a year or two.
Yeah. And it's not like there's going to be a dramatic evolution in flavor 2 years in with something like this that's loosely packed,
right,
and stored in almost any condition, frankly. So, yeah, I completely agree. These sorts of teas, even maybe black tea, you can kind of hang out with it for a bit. Your kind of jaded oolongs, probably best to drink them quickly. Of course, your pu'er, that is meant for the tea closet. So yeah, this stuff smells so good. Definitely has a bit of that sort of phoenix, flowery, fruity, pungent vibe.
Yeah.
Cheerio.
Cheers. This is cheers to the rock liquors of America.
Yeah. Yeet.
Yee.
Ooh, bitter.
Yeah, pretty rich and strong, just on
Very
the
strong.
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily bitter, yeah. It's not strong, though, definitely. Yeah. I mean, bitter.
Yeah. Gives a bit of, I think it's pretty strong already, and the minerals, I get a little bit of a powdery sensation to having this.
Wow. Intense. All right.
And I like to drink these teas in particular with a pretty high leaf to water ratio, so using about 5.6 grams, 70 milliliters here. So it's pretty packed,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Getting real nice red color off of this.
Very incredible, very pungent aroma, strong residual flavor. This version of brewing this tea, I think, is probably a bit polarizing, but this is definitely tasty to me. Just a sniff. Bit more of that baking spice kind of thing going on. Sugar cookie vibes. Salud. A great tea. Frankly, we just had some spicy Sichuan food. Really good after having that, frankly.
You kind of need something
Bold.
strong to cut through
Totally.
that after you have it.
And maybe it's just my palate was like fresh, but it doesn't taste nearly as bitter now, which doesn't make any sense because it's definitely more intense flavor-wise. It's interesting. These ones can sometimes be very rock flavor to me. This one is a little bit less, a little bit more middle ground.
Yeah, for me at least, this steep is a little bit sweeter. It's still pretty rich. Okay, that's interesting to hear. How do you place this in terms of roasty level? Kind of medium, low, high?
I would say medium. I mean, I think that's what I mean by just not quite as rock taste flavors.
Okay.
Definitely kind of in the mid to high range. Again, tastes a bit more like somewhat of a classic oolong flavor to me. In some ways, again, Phoenix like in the cup as well. I really enjoy it. Definitely different than like a Rogueway though, for example.
Yeah. How would you expect a Rogueway to contrast versus something like this?
Much more roasted, in my opinion.
More aromatic.
Yeah, and like definitely a lot more rock. Well, not necessarily more rock taste, but having a little bit less of the sort of high notes.
Right.
Really nice. Okay, I'm gonna cut. What are we doing about the?
Yeah.
All right. Salud.
Cheery out.
Mom test.
I think for me, it's not like a passing with flying colors, but I think you tone down the brew time, you make it a little bit less intense, and that probably enhances the sweetness. I think it passes pretty easily.
I'm torn. My initial reaction was bitter and intense, right? I like that, but I will say, sitting here, tasting it, it's easier to sit here and taste it. I think in the cup, first sip, it's a bit more intense. I like the way that you're brewing it, but I do think if you were to serve this to someone else, going lighter on the leaves, and then might be to the advantage of the noob out there.
Right.
But yeah, it's tasty. I like how strong it is, frankly. And again, paired with like a really intense, rich meal of various strange Sichuan spices and organs, animal parts. So good. Salud.
Cheers.
Tasting the roast more now, for sure.
Yeah. And one thing about these teas, too, is it does definitely change each steep to steep. So, depending on which one you're having.
That's
for
true.
me, it's a little less rich and strong than the first steeps.
Right.
But yeah, you definitely can still taste that base of a Wuyi.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice, intense. In terms of context, when would you be drinking this, in the day or?
These are the sorts of teas I could drink anytime, anywhere, any place. It's just it's fairly warming, and I tend to like that most of the time. But I could totally drink this in the summer, even when it's quite hot out. It just kind of really strikes a nice middle ground for me.
Nice.
So for me, unlike ripe or something like that, which is like could be a little bit more of a situational tea, I think this is the sort of tea I could enjoy most all the time.
Yeah. I could see this in the summertime. Again, I think there's like crispness, the kind of mid body of this, mid note flavors are really nice. Light almost, which is strange because it's such an intense flavor profile. And yeah, this one's really unique. I like this one, I have to say. It does feel, I mean, not a criticism of this category, but I do feel like, unlike other categories, this one does tend to kind of clump up more on the profile compared to, and same thing with ripe, for example, ripe pure, compared to something like potentially green oolongs or raw pure. So, yeah, I like the fact that this is a bit different as well, frankly. I mean, it's not like, it tastes like a Wuyi to me, of course, but I think if I was blind, I might think that this is a highly roasted Phoenix tea as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, it has a bit of those. It's like not, I don't know, it's not quite floral. It's not quite fruity, but it's like something like that. It's confusing. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Salud.
Cheers.
This one's really getting sweet. I like it. Well, go to WuyiOrigin.com. Google them, is that right? .com?
Yeah.
They've been on the show a billion times. We like their stuff.
Yeah, they're consistently pretty good.
Yeah.
And, I suspect if you go to their site, you order a bunch of stuff, one will be Denny's favorite, one will be mine. They might not be the same tea, but they are, in general, pretty good about just having pretty consistently decent quality for both Wuyis as well as Phoenixes.
Absolutely. I would recommend them first in for that category. So check them out. This is the boutique Tieluohan. Did I say that right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 5 gram sample from 2022, and this would be a pickup for me. So go to the tdb.org website if you want to at tdb.org and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we'll see you guys next time.
Cheerio. Jesus.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I was just trying.